On tonight's edition of The Overtime, we'll talk about Coconino Volleyball and how they're performing so far. Next, we'll dive into high school football and take a look at their seasons. And then we'll check in with this week's Athlete of the Week. All that and more on this edition of The Overtime. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Will Hopkins, and tonight I'm joined by sports reporter Brendan Martin. Brendan, are you ready to talk some sports?
Thanks, Will. Let's dive right in.
All right then. We open tonight with Flagstaff girls volleyball. The Eagles have been on a tear this season, starting off 7-0. Brendan, what's been the key to their success?
Well, Will, the Eagles have run the table in their first 7 games of the season. Since opening their season with a win over the Prescott Badgers, they have been handling their opponents with ease. In their most recent game against Bradshaw Mountain, they swept the Bears 3-0 for the second time this season. In their first matchup, it was the Eagles serving that led them to victory, with them hitting 8 aces compared to the Bears' 1. The Eagles' powers have kept their opponents to no more than 1 winning set each game. The Eagles look to continue their perfect record as the season continues.
Best of luck to the Eagles as they take on Lee Williams this Saturday. The Coconino Panthers volleyball team returned this week, clinching a close victory against the Mojave Thunderbirds in 5 sets. Brendan, how will the Panthers move forward as their season gets back on track?
Will the Panthers look to rejuvenate their season against the Mojave Thunderbirds? And that is exactly what they did, winning this matchup 3-2. Going into this game, the Panthers were 1-1 with a loss to Bradshaw Mountain in their home opener by a score of 3-2, and the win against the Mingus Marauders 3-1. In that season opener, senior captains Brooke Parker and Rakenna Curtis led the Panthers with 30 kills between them. In that second game against Mingus, Parker lit up the court yet again alongside senior hitter Megan Hicks, who combined for 26 kills. Many questions were asked about this team after the season was put on hold due to the coronavirus quarantine. However, the Coconino Panthers returned strong after their 19-day hiatus.
Hopefully the Panthers can keep the ball rolling as their season picks up steam. Coconino football has had a successful start to their season. After 2 close calls, the Panthers looked dominant in last week's 41-0 win against Prescott. Brendan, who are the key players for the Panthers this season?
Well, Will, a key player that has been essential to the Panthers' style of play is senior running back Zach Bennett. In their blowout victory against the Prescott Badgers, Bennett ran for a total of 145 yards on 32 carries, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He also scored 2 of the Panthers' touchdowns. Bennett has been an absolute monster so far this season, running for a total of 495 yards and 86 carries, averaging out to 165 yards per game, blowing the national average out of the water. Another player to keep an eye out for on the offensive side of the ball is senior Manuel Cardoza. While Cardoza caught 2 of the team's 3 completions, he had a total of 110 receiving yards, exactly double of all Prescott's receivers combined. It's clear that the Panthers hope that their run offense pushes the team to victory going forward.
Hopefully the Panthers can keep their momentum in Friday's game against the Mojave Thunderbirds. The Flagstaff Eagles are also off to a hot start. The Eagles looked unstoppable last week against the Mojave, forcing 6 interceptions on their way to a 50-7 win. Brendan, what stands out about this Eagles team?
Definitely will. Moving across town to Flagstaff High School, we can see that the run game reigns supreme here as well. Their most notable player on this team is senior running back Luis Jaramillo. In their huge win over the Thunderbirds, Jaramillo ran for a total of 156 yards on just 10 carries, for an average of 15.6 yards per carry. The star running back also rushed for 4 touchdowns and caught an 8-yard receiving touchdown on top of that. You also mentioned their defense playing a major role as well, with the Eagles' defense picking off 6 interceptions across 5 different defenders. Being able to create plays on both sides of the ball will allow the Eagles to keep their early winning streak alive.
Best of luck to the Eagles as they take on the Prescott Badgers this Friday.